Hey, fifth grade, this is Miss Gibson with math class with you today. So, you should be on lesson 21, Thursday, April 9th, 2020. Okay? So, you need to have, if you have this video up, you need to make sure you have the lesson up in another tab. You need to make sure you have pencil and paper to do your workout and to write your notes on, or another tab if you are typing your notes out for what we're learning right now for math. So I'll give you a couple seconds to get that. Okay, now you guys have been working on identifying angles for triangles. So we are now venturing into learning more about triangles and the things that we know about them. So just as a review, what are the angle types for a triangle? Exactly. The angle types are right, acute, or obtuse. So if you are still confused about that, make sure you have your notes out because you are always going to be using your notes moving forward, especially as we get into recognizing triangles by a new defining attribute, which are their sides. So you guys, for the first portion of the PST, you're going to read the text below and use it to classify the triangles on the next page. So right now they're giving you three different types of triangles, okay? And these special names give it to triangles, tell how many sides are equal, okay? So before we were thinking of different angles, now we are going to figure out the sides, which tell us how triangles are equal and what angles are equal to each other. So you're going to use this first page to help you identify these three right here and then stop. So you're going to use that first page of these three different types of triangles to help you answer these three types of questions right here and identify what type of triangle it is and providing evidence. So your evidence should be coming from this table right here. Go ahead and pause the video and get started. All right, welcome back. You guys should have used the chart above this page to help you classify what types of triangles these are by their side lengths. So you should have been looking at how these triangles have been drawn up, looking out their side lengths, and understand what type of triangle this is. So realize this is what we are learning right now today. We're trying to think about how to categorize triangles in a different way. And this lesson is going to be based off of their side lengths. Okay, so let's go one by one. So what type of triangle is this? So yes, this is an equilateral triangle because the text says that equilateral triangles have three equal sides. So if you look at the lengths of each side, you realize that they're all the same, 2 yards, 2 yards, and 2 yards. So with that being said, this has three equal sides, which makes this an equilateral triangle. All right, let's go to the second one. What type of triangle is this? Provide evidence. Again, the evidence is me explaining why I'm naming that type of triangle. So this is how you guys should be thinking about this as you're going about identifying what kind of triangle they are. So what type of triangle is this for the middle one? This is a scalene triangle because the text says that scalene triangles have no equal sides. All of these lengths for each side are different. We have 3 inches, 5 inches, and 7 inches. So that is definitely a scalene triangle with no equal sides. Last, what type of triangle is this? Provide evidence. So this is an isosceles triangle because the text says that an isosceles triangle has two equal sides. So we have 3 feet on this side and 3 feet on this side. These are the two equal sides, with our last one being 5 feet, which is not equal to the 3 feet. Okay? So now I want you guys to get your notes page together because we're going to stop and take some notes. All right. So in your notes right now, you're going to add these three important um, tips that are talking about how we are looking at triangles to categorize them by their side lengths. So you're going to put all three types of triangles. So equilateral triangle, a triangle that has three equal sides, scalene triangle, a triangle that has no equal sides, and an isosceles triangle, a triangle that has two equal sides. Now, for examples written next to them, definitely draw these ones up that are on the page that we originally labeled so you can visualize what type of triangles they are other than just thinking of the definition. We want you to be able to visualize and take note of what type of triangles are in front of you by just looking at the angles, by the side lengths that are given to you. So definitely write down these three definitions for each triangle and then draw the picture for each one as well. Go ahead and pause the video so you can do this. All right, so good job on writing all these notes and the image. Now we're going to scroll down to do part 2 of the PST. So, part 2, you can name triangles by their angles and their sides. The first one is named for you. Use it to help you name the rest of the triangles. Yes, can you use your notes? Of course you can. Make sure you have them out from notes from yesterday that you guys wrote down for angles of triangles, and bring out the notes that we just wrote down for identifying the sides of triangles. Once you are done with this PST portion, this is the second portion, you are stopping and then coming back to check your answers. So go ahead and begin, pause the video. All right, welcome back from trying out PST number 2. Just for a recap, what are the three types of angles that can be in triangles? Yes, again, that is the right angle, acute angles, or obtuse angles. And then what are the three types of triangles that we can identify by sides? Yes, that is the equilateral triangle with how many sides? 3. That's a scalene triangle. Does that one have sides? No, it does not have any equal sides. And then isosceles triangle, how many equal sides does that one have? 2. All right, so now we're gonna go through and we've named already the triangles by their angles and their sides. All right, let's look at number 1. They already gave us this answer. Okay, so they said this is a right scalene triangle. Realize, what are we noticing first before we even get into identifying what's going on with this triangle? Exactly, this box, which always means that this is a right angle for 90 degrees. Now, if we look at the lengths, it's labeled A, B, and C. When these have different letters on the outside or different numbers, that means that none of them are equal sides, which means this is a scalene triangle. Because again, a scalene triangle has no equal sides. Let's go to the next one, right isosceles triangle. So again, what are we noticing from this one in connection to the first one? That little box, exactly. So this is why this is a right angle, okay? So this is a right angle that's shown. We are also noticing that A and A means that this is going to be equivalent sides, right? So what kind of triangle has two sides, two equal sides lengths? Isosceles triangle. This is why this one is called a right isosceles triangle. Okay, let's go to obtuse isosceles triangle. So, do we notice any boxes in this triangle? No. That means that this cannot be a right angle. Okay? So, what do we know about any other types of angles? Acute or obtuse? So, acute, is that more or less than 90 degrees? More or less than 90 degrees. Think about that. Acute angles are less than 90 degrees. What are obtuse angles? Are those more or less than 90 degrees? Those types of angles are more than 90 degrees. So this is why this one is an obtuse triangle. And then of course we notice that B and B means that these are two equal sides, that leads to an isosceles triangle. All right, let's go to the next three. So this one we labeled as obtuse scalene triangle. Does this one have any right sides? Right angles? Sorry. No, they don't have any right angles. And then what are we noticing about the other angles? Exactly. One is more than 90 degrees and the other two are less than. So this is why this one is an obtuse scalene triangle and none of them are equal to each other. So for sides wise, that's why this one is a scalene triangle because no sides equal each other. All right, let's go to acute scalene triangle. Now, are any of these more than 90-degree angles? No. Does this have a right angle? No. Which is why this leads us to believe that this is an acute triangle. And then the A, B, and C represent that all sides are not equal to each other, which is why this is an acute scalene triangle. Now, for the last one, what do we notice about this triangle? Have we seen this image before? Yes, we have seen this image before because we technically wrote it in our notes to tell us that this is an equilateral triangle. Now, when all sides lengths are the same, that means that all angles are the same because they have the same length in order to reach each other. All right, so now we are going to get into notes for today. All right, so for the notes for today, you guys are going to add in these as well under the first set of notes that we just did for identifying the side lengths of different triangles. So realize what we're doing right now. We got through the point of identifying our triangles by their side lengths. Yesterday, you guys identified triangles by their angles. And then the second part of this was just putting it all together. So triangles can be identified by their sides and their lengths. Okay. So a full name for a triangle includes both identifications of side and angles. And you always follow the format of angle name followed by side name. So realize when we were going through these, we named the angle type first, and then we got into the side length name for a triangle. It was never opposite. So make sure you are always doing it in this order, and it always should be angle name first. So either right, obtuse, or acute, followed by the side length name, which is scalene, isosceles, or of course, equilateral stands on its own, which gets us into our last note, which says equilateral triangles don't get named by the angle, just the side. This is because part of the definition for equilateral triangles is three acute angles. So again, if all sides are the same, then all angles are the same, which means each of these will be 60 degrees. Pause the video and write down these notes. You can also write down different types of triangles that we just went through with examples underneath their name, and make sure you label the sides to show which sides are equal to each other and which sides are not. So go ahead and draw these triangles down and write these notes so that you can have visuals to help you understand more in depth of how to identify a triangle. Go ahead and pause the video. All right, good job on writing your notes down and of course including these types of triangles that you need to be putting in your notes. It's very important to write these visuals down just so you can understand and see and visualize what we've been talking about other than just having words down of your notes. Visuals are always important for you to understand how to identify a triangle. All right, now we're going to scroll down and you guys are going to get into the practice problems. So it's this page and followed by this page, and it ends with the true and false. And then after that, you're going to stop. So once you're done, make sure that you are before you're done, make sure you are checking all of your work. You need to follow every single direction. You're going to write whether each triangle is equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. And of course, you need to prove it by that defining attribute. use your notes. And then, of course, the second part, you guys are going to be using what we just did to identify these types of triangles by their angles. So this is review of yesterday. All right. So make sure you are using your notes. Those are very important for you to use today so you can understand the concepts that we're learning right now, which is identifying triangles by their angles and by their side lengths. So go ahead and pause the video and get into practice problems. All right, welcome back from practicing on your own. I'm definitely going to go over the first portion in depth because that's what we are working on today, identifying triangles by their side lengths. Okay, so yesterday you were working on angles, identifying triangles by their angles. Today we are working on identifying triangles by their side lengths. So the first one, right, whether each triangle is equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. What did you guys say? Equilateral, exactly. We're realizing that these hash marks mean that all three sides are equal. So this is an equilateral triangle because the text says that equilateral triangles have three equal sides. So remember, defining attribute is what makes that shape different from the others, right? So three equal sides make this triangle different from the other triangles. Let's go to the next one. So is this equilateral, isosceles, or scalene? What do the two hash marks mean? Exactly, that they are both equal to each other. So this means that since they have this defining attribute is two equal sides, this makes this an isosceles triangle. Let's go down to the next one. This is a scalene triangle. Does this have any hash marks? No. That means that none of the sides are equal to each other. So this means that this defining attribute, no equal sides, means that this is a scalene triangle. Let's go down to the last one. Again, does this have the hash marks? Not at all. So this is why this is a scalene triangle, because the text says that the scalene triangles have no equal sides. So no equal sides is a defining attribute for scalene. So define the triangles below by their angles. So of course, what were the three angles that we worked on yesterday? Exactly, right, acute, or obtuse. So what does acute mean again? Exactly. Acute triangles have a triangle containing three acute angles, right triangle, a triangle containing two acute angles and one one right angle, and then lastly, obtuse triangle, a triangle containing two acute angles and one obtuse angle. Just as review again, what does it mean to have one obtuse angle? Exactly. One of those angle measurements needs to be around 120 degrees or technically over 90 degrees, okay? Check your work, pause the video, check your work, make sure you use the terms from yesterday. And if you are still confused on this, make sure you are highlighting this section, contacting your teachers, and bringing out your notes when you do so that you can ask clarifying questions to what you're confused on. Go ahead and pause the video. All right. Moving on to the last piece, which is true or false. So we're going to run through these. All right. So all equilateral triangles have three equal sides. Definitely true. When we think of equilateral triangles, think of all equal sides. Okay. So three equal sides is a defining attribute for equilateral triangles. Make sure you have your notes out for this because you can also write these down in your notes for the true statements so you are not confused. Number two, some isosceles triangles have three equal sides. True or false? This is false because the defining attribute for isosceles triangles is what? Exactly. They have to have two equal sides. Three equal sides makes it an equilateral triangle, and two equal sides is a defining attribute for isosceles triangle. So no isosceles triangles can have three equal sides. Number three, scalene triangles do not have any equal sides. True or false? This is true. The defining attribute for scaling triangles is that they have no equal sides. Remember, there's only three sides. There are only three sides in a triangle. So if it's all three, that means equilateral if they're equal to each other. If it's two equal sides, that means that it's an isosceles triangle. And if there are no equal sides, that's a scaling triangle. Also, the secret code for today is Doritos. So that is spelled Doritos. All right, make sure you're inputting that in your math exit ticket for today. All right, now let's answer the last two questions. Some scaling triangles have two equal sides. Again, what is the defining attribute for scaling triangles? Exactly. They have no equal sides. So this is false. This can never happen because all scaling triangles have no equal sides. And lastly, all scaling triangles are polygons. This is true. It doesn't matter what type of side lengths a triangle has, as long as it's a subcategory of polygons, all triangles, any type, because they're a closed shape and have straight lines, are polygons. So this is true. Okay, so you guys have your secret code word for today. We have learned how to identify triangles based off of their side lengths and their angles from yesterday and today. So now you guys are going to get into the exit ticket. Now, if you are confused before starting your exit ticket, make sure one, you are reviewing your notes, two, looping back through this video to see which parts you felt like you were uneasy with, and then, of course, asking clarifying questions, and then, of course, get started on your exit ticket. Make sure, yes, you can use your notes. You take notes for a reason, put them to good use. All right? Happy Thursday. Hope you have a good day.